Guys, welcome back to the Working Fans Podcast. If you're watching us right now, you know that it is a lot smoother than it went Wednesday. How rough was it for you on your end to participate in that broadcast that night? Because I was personally mortified as it went on. Like, we had on Sal as a guest, and we did not show out well.
I think me and Andrew are both thinking at the same time, how do we get out of this? How are we going to pull this off? We know this is going south. We got to roll with this a bit, but we got to get the hell out of here, too, at some point.
I knew as long as we could get Dave to talk about Dick, we would be fine.
I did my best.
And this will come as no surprise to anyone, but as usual, the problem was me this week. But allow us to reintroduce ourselves. I'm producer Joe, the man they call Dave in the middle. You got AJ Strange Brew on the side. And we are brought to you by 482 Designs, FOUR 82 Designs. They did the shirts that we are selling. If you want one of those shirts, workingfanswrestlingpod@gmail.com. Get to us. We'll get you the PayPal, and we will get a shirt and sticker in your pocket.
If you order the shirt now, you can actually get an official shirt before I do.
That is very much true. Randy got a shirt before you. Randy actually picked one up from us the other day.
In fairness, he broke into Dave's house.
I did not see him if you did that. I want to know about that, Randy.
Now, guys, we were disappointed because Wednesday we thought we had what was perhaps our best debate topic to date, and that was who is a better talker between Dusty and Flair.
Ooh.
And I actually cut out some sound bites, and it was a lot of fucking work, and it was such a good topic that we had to re-record today to bring this to you. So I am going to start off with what is probably, I would say, one of Ric Flair's most famous promos, and here it is right now.
Wrestling Ric Flair, and here is the World Heavyweight Champion.
You know, girls, why don't you give it to him one more time? Woo! That's who's standing here today. The World Heavyweight Champion. Only one. And you're looking. Oh, girls, I can't stand it. Now I gotta be quiet. Nikita Koloff.
Listen to that crowd. You don't hear crowds like that much anymore.
That's the end of it. Dusty Rhodes, don't ever make a mistake. A stick in your nose in my business. If I'm down and out, I'll get up and take care of myself. So Dusty Rhodes, remember, when you walk out here, talking Ric Flair, don't think you can walk in that ring and give me a hand or try to help me out and ease the tension in our relationship. Philadelphia, I'm going to tear you down.
This is how AJ's wife talked to him.
When I get to town, we're going to treat all you women the way women ought to be treated.
Jesus Christ.
Because the NWA and some real men are going to take that Civic Center apart, and then we're all going to be over a rodeo, driving the women wild. Now, get ready.
I got Dusty.
We're on tour, and we're doing it better than anybody else alive. Now, Buddy Landell, it's so hard for me to sit back here in this studio.
Randy Osga's in the house.
Hollering my name.
The Randy Oscar? The one who broke into Dave's house and stole a t-shirt?
On spilled liquor in bars from one side of this world to the other that you made. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing.
Bad, Diddy. Thank you, Scott. Thank you.
Hard time.
My money's on Diddy all day.
Jesse in the house. I hope he's holding that new baby, letting him listen to the pure gold coming out of Ric Flair's mouth right now.
You knew that I was going to be the biggest star of them all.
It's important for that baby to learn how to treat a woman right away.
To bring the real
I said some stuff that I don't know if it made the cut during the live show Wednesday.
We're family. Only an Arnie and Rick. We do it better than everybody else. Don't wrap me up.
Guys, Randy wants to set the record straight.
Team champions, Ric Flair, the world champion, the world connection.
At my house.
Don't you go smiting his good name, God damn it.
Girls all around the world keep asking me the same question.
Oh, we got a heart emoji, so we are definitely not.
The only thing I want to know from Randy is farmers.com really the best place to find women?
Farmersonly.com.
Sorry, my bad. Farmersonly.com.
You can find him under the name Duddy.
We're talking about all man. Ric Flair.
He actually has it under Randy and Hawaii, just so he seems exotic.
The best wrestling family.
He's driving the women crazy.
Oh, man. I'm on fire today.
Wow, Jake St. John jumping in with the first vote. There's Ric Flair. There's
You're damn right, Jake. You're damn
I have
right.
to know for a fact, Jake actually voted for Dusty because Dusty is poetry, baby.
I was going to bring that up because he said every time Dusty talked, it was like poetry. But
if you're
AJ,
walking
why
in
don't you
here
take a
Flair
minute?
that promo, though,
First of all,
I would do the same thing. I'd be like,
First of all,
"Ooh,
Dusty's
it's
like
feeling."
poetry if you didn't get past the 3rd grade.
Now, AJ, why don't you start off making your case for Flair because you jumped at the chance to Ric Flair. You almost demanded it.
After listening to that, I'm not sure I need to say anything. That's Ric Flair touches all the bases in this promo. He went after good guys, bad guys. He's going after Buddy Landell for being the nature boy.
He went after women.
He went after women. So I said he went after the bad guys. But he even talks to Dusty.
Can have your ass.
He talks to Dusty. He says, "Hey, Dusty, don't you come down here and lend me a hand. I don't need your help. I'll dust myself off and get my own self back up on my feet. I don't need your help."
Mm-hmm. That's what AJ's wife told him the other night. Don't touch me.
All the time. First of all, that's the one match I can't win. But, however,
how about Jimmy Snuka?
Jimmy Snuka chopped me harder than any human being ever has, but that's another story and a whole lot of cocaine.
I was going to say, one day we'll get to the bottom of that, Graham. I mean, that story.
Hey, he didn't kill me. Allegedly. But let me talk about Ric Flair for a minute here. Ric Flair, when he did his interview, similar to what Jake said, how there's Ric Flair and there's everybody else. Ric Flair lived a lifestyle and portrayed a character that basically every person, especially in the time period, the 80s, you're talking about the Wall Street generation. You're talking about good boy, Zach. Good boy. You're talking about the yuppies. You're talking about everybody wanting to actually live that BMW Corvette lifestyle. And Ric Flair,
that cocaine lifestyle.
Yeah, that's Tully Blanchard. But Ric Flair, he epitomized what that generation was and where they were going to. And for a generation like myself who was growing up in that time period, there's not a one of us who didn't want to be Ric Flair. I have to believe that Dave, sitting in his house, never once.
Sorry, Scott popped me.
That was good.
And the town is his hometown, wherever his marital residence is.
Hey, you notice I'm in my studio apartment or my Jeep, whichever one.
It's an interesting point there. How many Flair promos there was done? You know what? I can remember a lot of Dusty promos, honestly.
Yeah, but did Dusty ever make you want to be Dusty?
I don't know. I don't know how to get that thing off my belly.
Yeah, but hold on. Dusty made me feel more emotion. All right.
He made you feel hatred for the South.
I've never. Yeah, thank you. There we go. Jesse talking about Kings and Queens. I love it. See, Dusty.
Now, I think one important distinction to make between the two is that Ric Flair was mainly like kind of being braggadocio. It was a lot about him, where I found that Dusty, while it was about him, was also about connecting with the crowd. Flair tended to try and connect upwards, while Dusty kind of connected lower with the common man, the working man, baby.
But Flair connected so well that they actually got to a point where he couldn't get booed. He'd come out there and tell you every braggadocious thing on the planet. If guys just sat there going, well, hell, that's who I want to be. And they ended up cheering for this guy.
And you heard the ladies going wild in that promo. I mean, Flair would drop his hotel room in promos or where he was staying. And that's another level of crazy.
Ric Flair ended up getting to a point where he would get cheered for a finishing move of a low blow.
I mean, I will say this: as much as I'm going to be rooting for Dusty here, and we do have to give respect for Rick for truly living his gimmick and becoming an alcoholic and cheating on his wives. So I mean, getting back to that, that point. So.
Getting back to Jimmy Snuka, nobody lived the gimmick more than that guy. He was a killer.
Yeah, let's deter to Jimmy. This ain't got nothing to do with Jimmy. How about we get a Dusty clip? How about that? Is it time yet? Give me some Dusty.
Yeah,
all right. You want a Dusty clip? I'm gonna give you probably what is his best known promo.
Sure.
And that is this one right here.
Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And Dusty, your fans welcome you back, man.
First of all, I would like to thank the many fans throughout this country that wrote cards and letters to Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, while I was down. Secondly, I want to thank Jim Crockett Promotions for waiting and taking the time, because I know how important it was. Starcade 85 it is to the wrestling fans, it is to Jim Crockett Promotions. And Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, with that weight, got what I wanted. Ric Flair, the world's heavyweight champion. I don't have to say a lot more about the way I feel about Ric Flair. No respect, no honor. There is no honor among thieves in the first place. He fought hard times on Dusty Rhodes and his family. You don't know what hard times are, Dennis. Hard times are when the textile workers around this country are out of work. They got 4 or 5 kids and can't pay their wages, can't buy their food. Hard times are when the auto workers are out of work and they tell them go home. And hard times are when a man has worked at a job 30 years. 30 years, they give him a watch, kick him in the butt, and say, hey, a computer took your place, Daddy. That's hard time.
I got to admit, I've heard that promo I don't know how many times, and it's still giving me chills. It's also funny because a computer took your job, Daddy.
You took your job, Daddy. Listen, I've listened to that promo with people who aren't wrestling fans, and I've run into them afterwards, and they still will quote that promo once in a while. They're like, nah, I know I'm bad, Daddy. They know I'm bad.
Yeah, because how many years ago did that happen? And the fact
85.
that you could still be replaced by a computer is almost more likely now than it was then.
And
in fairness, a computer would have known more moves than Dusty Rhodes.
Brandon Thomas letting us know the Orton family was the best wrestling family. That is true. And we will talk about that in a future episode. But right now, we're talking about the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes versus Kiss Steele and Wheeling Dealing Ric Flair. And my money's on Dusty Rhodes, baby, because Dusty made you feel. Now, Rick, get you excited. You know, you listen to Rick. He's super entertaining.
England a bit.
But Dusty could bring tears to your eye. All right.
Dusty made me feel like I was in great shape.
You love Dusty. First off, you're trashing Dusty just to win this argument. But you can't even look straight up because you know if you hear Dusty's promo too long, you're going to start crying. You're like, oh, Dusty, I'm such a fan.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Ric Flair wanted to call himself Ramblin' Randy Rose. And Dusty had to say, don't do that, baby. Be Ric Flair. Because there's only one Dusty Rhodes. And there's only one Ric Flair, too. But to me, Dusty made you feel it. And look what Dusty had us to work with. I said this on Wednesday, too. Well, let's see what we got here. Don't bring it to the wrestling. Keep it to the promo. It's all Dusty. The view never changes versus yes, thank you. The view never changes, baby.
Oh, come on.
AJ, when you walk behind her, the view never changes, baby. The view never changes.
What that
AJ,
tells
never
me
did
is
nothing
that
but walk
what
behind
that
her.
tells me is clearly Jay is a
baby.
walk
Your
behind
chicken
her.
feed.
Now, one of the things that I mentioned on
Fucking dog.
Wednesday is that if you look at a lot of the promos that they did, some of their biggest promos are actually versus each other, which is pretty wild.
Yes. Yeah, they're one of the. We should do a debate sometime or top 5 on the greatest rivalries in pro wrestling. Because to me,
Charlotte,
Flair's got to be right there.
Guys, Charlotte and Mid-Atlantic Wrestling in that time period is not the same without Dusty and Flair going head-to-head.
I thought you were going to tie this to the women's revolution, and I'm like, I'm dying to see where you're going with this.
That's right, baby. Charlotte ran to town. Woo!
Hey,
now
how do we know Dusty's not the real dad?
Maybe I didn't touch that bitch.
maybe Beth did the job. I don't know.
We don't even know. Oh yeah, okay. Charlotte's mom. Which one of Flair's wives Dusty maybe touched?
Now, guys, is there anything either more of you guys want to say about this? Because we just kind of threw this together last minute today because anybody that watched Wednesday saw the fucking debacle that video was. Yeah. Almost 1,000 views on YouTube, 6 thumbs up, no thumbs down, which is fucking mind-boggling. But we put a lot of work into this segment, and you guys felt passionate about this. Like, you guys fucking busted my balls up until the moment we got this thing working today.
We had to let you know.
That's not true. We're busting your balls during it, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It hasn't stopped. At least now I can be like, who figured it out, motherfucker?
I'm pretty sure it was me and Dave's advice.
We all won. Hey, listen, at the end of the day, for me, I wanted to say that, somebody said it best in the comments there. If you're sticking just to promos, that's where we kind of lean towards Dusty, in my opinion. Is Flair a better all-around presentation worker? Yeah, he is. That's not a knock on Dusty. That's because Ric Flair is one of the greatest of all times. Flair is also one of the best promos of all time. When it gets just down to promos, I say Dusty makes you feel. And if you look what Dusty's working with, Dusty looked like an overweight guy at the bar. But somehow when that guy started to talk, you're like, okay, that's somebody.
Good news, Dave. Scott gave us a thumbs up and a thumbs down.
He's torn. I don't blame him. I'm passionate too, Scott. I get it.
It's a little of that. What was that? The Zodiac, where it was yes, no.
Yes, no, baby. Brutus the fucking barber beefcake.
Well, guys, you know what the music means. It means AJ has to get home before his wife puts him in a knuckle lock or some kind of submission move. But we figured out the issue. We are going to be coming back to you Wednesday, bigger and badder than ever. And we just want to say thank you for not abandoning us after that show because that shit hurt.
And now you get up close and personal with producer Joe's face more than ever.
I know my head feels so fucking big. We'll figure out this whole situation at another time.
Yeah, because that's what's making your head big.
That damn camera. Camera did me dirty.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, didn't they say the camera adds 15 pounds to the head?
Yeah, my camera added 275. It sucks.
All right, guys.
Get rid of that bald-headed guy.
We're going to let Scott get in the last comment of the day. Your head looks so fucking big, too. Excellent, guys. Well, the ball busting never ends. It doesn't happen just at the day job.
I'm just glad for once he's talking about your face.
All right, guys. I'm breaking down. My baby lungs are hurting. We will see you Wednesday.
We'll be here.
Later.
All right. Cool. Good times, man. See ya.
Later. We're still live.